gets it neatly off the line, which is often the problem here at Goodwood. And it's the Bugatti of Julien Mazout from the outside of the front row that's got away best. And Julien Mazout, who's nailing the gears up through.
Everyone's away, which is good.
Gans is up into third behind Glaisel, and then we've got the next to the Bugattis. Not a great start by Sean Danaher, who's fifth from the middle of the front row in the ex-RAF Maseratis 6 CM car that Callum Lockie's raced with great success in recent years.
Charles Neil Jones in fourth place at the moment. Duncan Pittaway, you see in the striped yellow helmet, up there amongst the gang in the unblown
Duncan
Bugatti.
Ricketts at the back of that particular group, that kind of lead group, chasing the bugs.
There's Duncan.
Yep.
Slight contrast to the big Fiat S76.
By the time they get to St Mary's on the opening lap, it's still Julien Mazout leading from Christian Glaisel. Big switch from Glaisel, the Alfa Romeo and Lavin. The first three really breaking clear. Sean Danaher trying to get back in the silver Maserati, making a bid to pass Charles Neil Jones to get fourth place, and he does so between the first and second parts of Lavin. But onto the Lavin straight, Christian Glaisel on the left of screen trying to make his move in the Tipo B Alfa Romeo, round the outside of the superstar, fast starting Julien Mazout, and Michael Gans taking a look, tucked in behind them.
Yes, Gans made a very good start from row 2 in the V8 RI. Those three broken away. Danaher is currently in fourth place after a quite a circumspect start. And Sean Danaher is a preparer of Maseratis. He doesn't pretend to be a racing driver, although he had a win relatively recently, which absolutely delighted him. Through they come, and it's Glaisel who leads the way. In second place is going to be Gans. And in third place, Mazout. Mazout trying to go back up the inside of Gans into Madgwick, and he's made it, but the power of the Mazda around the outside may allow him to come back, and it does. Powers back past.
So the Bugatti is 2.3 litres, the big Maserati I think is 4.5, so a lot more power. Independent suspension, more sophisticated car, 6 or 7 years younger, of course, than the Bugatti. Remember, all these cars have cable-operated drum brakes, some rod-operated, but drum brakes, difficult to get them nicely balanced, and you have to treat them with great care. Oh,
Gans has gone round.
Spin.
Did well.
What a save.
Yeah,
that could have come back. There was a bit of a gap back. The next car to come across will be Danaher.
Gone through, so he's fourth now, isn't he, Gans?
So Gans, so his Maserati's back, so it's Alfa Romeo, Bugatti, Maserati as it was before, but a different Maserati. So Sean Danaher up. Now can Michael Gans get his heart rate down below 3,000? Let's have a look at that incident. Got Julien Mazout behind him, turns in, and did he just clip the grass? No, he was already going round. He just turned in a bit too sharply, rode the curb. The good thing was it didn't snap to the left.
It rather makes the point I make how unstable these cars can be under braking.
Doesn't seem to be very much deterred by that, does he? He's hard up behind Sean Danaher again. Of course, now it is Glaisel, Mazout, Danaher in number 17, Gans in 28, and then Neil Jones and Diffie going well. Simon Diffie, Diffmeister in 32 of the Bugattis. There goes Gans at Ford Water, going back past Danaher on this lap 3. 16 minutes to go.
Well, let's see. I think in terms of pace, we might well see Julien Mazout being caught by Michael Gans. So the difference on the start-finish line between Glaisel and Mazout was 4.6.
Later, Bruce, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think they're both actually catching Christian Glaisel. He seems to be a wee bit slower down to Lavin. It doesn't look like 4.5 seconds advantage over the blue Bugatti of Julien Mazout. But maybe the fastest driver of that trio is Michael Gans. There is our race leader in his Alfa Romeo twitching.
Looking over his shoulder, isn't he? He's got little mirror pods on the car. Great to see that tussle. That's Diffie. And Pittaway there with Shoesmith in the middle.
Now it's the turn of Diffie to look down at the cockpit to see what's going on, but he's at the front of that trio of Bugattis. All going very well indeed.
Glaisel's car, the Tipo B Alpha, has a 3-speed gearbox. It's such a torquey engine, only needs 3 speeds in the box.
Gans is back with Mazoub. Tussle now for second place.
Danaher's trying to hang on. He's really staying with that pace. So there, second, third and fourth. Very close indeed. It has come down between first and second. It was 4.7 seconds. Now it's 3.9. Plenty of time, just under quarter of an hour remaining in this 20-minute race. The Varzi Trophy for Italian and French pre-war Grand Prix cars, and it's really living up to its billing. Great Cities cars cornering at so many different angles.
Danaher's doing a fine job now, hanging on to that group on a 38.5 last time round. And within 4/10 of his best yesterday.
Now, how much is Mazoub going to be slowed by having to keep Gans behind him? This may enable our race leader, Christian Glazel, to get that little bit further ahead. Again, it went down to 3.9 seconds. Well, let's see which way it goes. Simon Diffie still in a great battle, Duncan Pittaway, but Shoesmith has moved back ahead, up into 6th place. A good run for Morehouse points for Tor Bolton. Stephen Shoesmith doing a great job. And now here comes the charge up the Lavin straight. The grunt of the Maserati presumably will take it past, but you've got to go around the outside if you want to go around Mr. Mazoub, and he's not showing any gap on the inside, so it's going to have to be maybe a blast down towards Madrid corner, the first corner of the lap, that will take Michael Gans back past Julian Mazoub in this race.
It's looking a straight line job, hasn't it? Because Mazoub is so extrovert in the corners.
But also Julian made a much better exit from the chicane. He really cornered with great gusto through the left-hand part of the chicane. And so stole away some of the advantage that could have been gained by Michael Gans. Michael Gans still in third place in the number 28 Maserati.
Julian, of course, has raced here in so many different cars. He knows every inch of the circuit, all the tricks of the trade, but he's facing a big power difference between his car and that of Michael Gans.
Dominated the 500cc Formula 3 races in the early days of the revival. Won 3 or 4 on the trot.
Right, they have a back marker in front of them. You can see the blue tail. I think that might be the Delahaye of Vincent Tourneur. I could be wrong. Indeed it is, but he's out of the way very nicely indeed. And so the battle for second place. Twitch there from Julian Mazoub as he tries to get the Bugatti settled down to take the first part of the lap. Michael Gans bottled up behind, and Sean Danaher not at all worried about those two having a battle. That's letting him stay in the fight, but that said, he's drifted a little bit wide the second part of the Lavin corners.
Shoesmith's up into 6th ahead of Simon Diffie now.
Yeah, it happened about a lap ago, and it was a great little tussle, and I thought he might be going out the back of that grouping, but no, he's managed to get to the front of it for 6th, Stephen Shoesmith.
Down.
So Michael Gans' power has dominated down the Lavin straight. Mazoub is certainly not going to give up. Would love to get him back. But the 6CM Maserati behind is keeping up nicely.
It is. 6-cylinder Maserati of Danaher now going to close in on Julian Mazoub. Now Sean Danaher would love a podium out of this race.
So while that tussle's been going on behind, yes, Michael Gans has made it through to second place, but Christian Glazel did gain ground in the lead. The gap between them 4.8 seconds, but I think that will be starting to come down because it seems that Michael Gans is the fastest driver on the circuit. You see number 17 holding down 4th place. Sean Danaher doing a great job. Julian Mazoub just didn't have an answer in terms of horsepower in that little blue Bugatti, so he is now down in 3rd place, but he certainly had that flying start off the grid, first into the opening corner on the first lap, and has been fighting hard ever since, but you just cannot argue with horsepower.
Leader Christian Glazel has the fastest lap for the record at 1:37.291, the first flying lap of the race, but he's been in the higher 38s, not under pressure, has to be said. And Gans was in the low 38s, 4.8 seconds between them last time through. Still 10 minutes remaining.
Mazoub coming under pressure from Danaher. Of course, Bugatti brakes, probably not as efficient, and he's passed.
So there's the blue Alfa Romeo, and Derek Hood, the ex-Eugen Bjornstad ice racing car from Sweden.
Had a lot of place changes, and unfortunately for Julian Mazoub, having got into the lead at the start of the race, he's now been passed by several cars back into fourth place. Is he any answer to Sean Danaher? Well, we know with Julian he'll never give up, so the little blue Bugatti right under the tail. The really very trim silver Maserati as they go up the start-finish straight. Michael Gans picking his way past a gaggle of back markers.
Sean Danaher tried to come with him.
And has done so.
Yeah, he's got through on the inside of the number 16, that Lago Talbot of John Guyot.
So it really is power versus agility, and maybe Sean Danaher's lighter Maserati will preserve his brakes better. I'm not sure if that was a V sign or a thank you from Julian.
A little less than gruntled to me.
Well, he lost a lot of ground in that sort out. I'm afraid that's removed him the back of that battle. He's lost an awful lot of ground. He's about 3 seconds behind the back of Sean Danaher. Sean is losing ground to Michael Gans to go round the outside of the number 25 Bugatti.
Slow lap last time round for Simon Diffie, which has allowed...
he's back into 8th place now, isn't he?
Yeah, Pitaway's up to 7th.
So Glazler has escaped by nearly 6 seconds. But of course he'll be the first of the leaders to come up against back markers, so it might be delayed a bit more.
There'll be a gaggle of them, won't there, at some point?
Well, he talked to Simon Diffie losing ground. His Bugatti sounding absolutely fine. I don't know what the problem is, but he certainly dropped down a couple of positions in the last 2 laps, and now it's about finding position on the track, even down in the tail end groupings. They're fighting really, really hard. 8.5 minutes remaining.
Somebody locked up there. That was Gans,
Gans,
wasn't it?
Gans, yeah.
Urging the car forward, leaning forward in the cockpit.
Gans is suddenly back into 4th place. What happened there? Now the last side, because Danaher is now 2nd, Mazoub is now 3rd, and Gans with his 2nd moment of the race. What happened? Here he comes.
Just run wide.
Oh. Rather similar to the first. Oh, and this time...
Didn't catch it this time.
Right round.
A double toe loop.
Well, with at the time just 8 minutes remaining on the clock, there was every possibility that he could get close towards Christian Glazer, but now that's really presented the victory for the driver who's out front at the moment. His gap was 6 seconds or so last time around. It's now 11.8 seconds over Sean Danaher, who's now in 2nd place. Danaher up towards Lavin. He was the driver we said was doing well to keep up with Majoub and Gans, and he's doing better than that. He's leading them, 2nd place. 3rd place, Julian Majoub, so he's been up and down the order, and so too has Michael Gans. And Michael Gans, we thought the middle section of the race was the quickest driver in the pack, but sadly for him, the pack has been shuffled and he's down at the tail.
Some nice mirror watching by that pale blue Bugatti.
Very good.
As the leaders come up to him.
Gans has been within a 1/5 of a second of Glazer's fastest lap of the race earlier on, but now has it to do again.
Buses broke, of course, we forget that Michael Gans not so long ago, actually the previous race was out quite a good long stint, about 20 odd minutes in one of the pace-setting AC Cobras. He'd already had his physical workout. I'm not saying it's down to tiredness, it's just down to jumping from one car to another. Perhaps he's slightly forgotten which he was in, so 2 big spins, but each time he's managed to keep them under control.
They've also got a central throttle pedal, these cars, which is easy to forget when you've jumped out of a Cobra.
Talked about Vincent Tourneur early on, and his best lap at 2:03.7, his last lap at 2:03.9, his qualifying effort at 2:03.3. That's really
consistent.
super consistent, isn't it?
That's good. Charles Neal Jones is still in 5th place.
Oh, Glazer, that's the leader, off at Lavant.
Without costing him very much time.
Okay, but he was 10 seconds clear. Now you see Sean Danaher in the silver Maserati coming into the background of the shot. Is that 10 seconds? I know it's a foreshortening shot. It would have trimmed a couple off, but certainly will give Christian Glazer, long-time race leader,
Here he comes.
cause for
See
thought.
what happened.
Yep.
Remarkably similar to the place where Michael Gans went off earlier. He did well to keep it out of the gravel, has to be said.
He didn't panic. He absolutely minimised his steering input.
And there's a shuffle there, and yes, look at that. The Bugatti has got through back into second place at Woodcote. Verzi has got past Danaher, and there's Gans right back in the swing, I think. Lap 9.
So not so long ago, looks as though it was all over for Julien Majoub. He'd had his turn in the lead. He went down to second, down to third, down to fourth, dropping off the back of out of this pack, fighting for second place. There he is, back in second all over again. Sean Danaher, the 17 Silver Maserati in third, and Gans has it all to do all over again in the much more powerful red Maserati.
4 seconds made up due
lap.
to that problem for Glaisel. And there's Danaher back ahead of the Bugatti. He's come through out of Mangewick towards Fordwater.
Such close racing from very disparate cars, but they're coming up against a gaggle of relatively slow cars.
Yeah, they've got the Delahaye of Ross Keeling and the Delahaye, the other Delahaye 135S of Vincent Turner. Haven't delayed them too much. They've luckily just basically had to go around the outside, and the speed differential is they weren't going to be interrupted, so no real losses and gains there. But the clock's ticking down, 4 minutes remaining. Is Sean Danaher going to be able to get on the podium? Well, he's in second place at the moment. We've seen not so long ago, in fact, it was on the very last lap, was it not, that Julien Majoub retook second place, but he's got to do it all over again. So the clock is ticking down in the favour of Danaher.
We didn't watch how Julien got past Bruce. I don't know if...
Wriggled through at
Woodcote, yeah. Thought Michael Gans was going for spin number 3 there. The tail really started to push out from under him.
It's a bit smoky. I wonder if oil is getting onto that rear tyre.
Could be. We'll keep a look out for that. So Christian Glaisel wants his last lap time. 1 minute 40.7. It's down to 3.1 seconds. We're going to see him in shot any moment now, because clearly something is amiss for Christian Glaisel, and suddenly Danaher is getting closer and closer, lapping 3 seconds faster last time around.
And Gans was well on the grass with 2 wheels coming out of the chicane that time as he tries to get back on terms with Verzi, but I think he's fighting a losing battle there.
So Christian Glaisel has 3 back markers ahead of him as he goes out to St Mary's. Coming through the second part of St Mary's is Sean Danaher. It's probably still at about 3 seconds, but the key to this race is going to be how Christian Glaisel got the inside. It looks as though the door was starting to be closed on him, whereas Danaher should get past these cars after the corner. This could be his opportunity, but is that enough of a lead? We can see the Tipo B being caught, but now the gaggle of cars is working against Sean Danaher as he gives chase.
No, he's fine. They've all seen
they've all done well. They've all done well.
So there'll be one more lap, I think, after this one.
That'll be this could be 2.
Could always be 2.
Could be 2.
Yeah. It's going to be close, but
Danaher
now
would like it to be 2. Glaisel would like it to be 1.
yes, therein lies the divide, but certainly now we've got clear line of sight. Christian Glaisel just turning into chicane. Really, I reckon only about 2 seconds behind him now is Sean Danaher. Julien Majoub a little bit further back in third place, and then Michael Gans. I don't think his race is finished yet. He's in fourth, but in fact he's way off the tail now of Majoub. Doesn't look as though we're going to have a podium for Gans after all.
There will be another lap after this.
2.6 seconds is the gap, first to second. So Christian Glaisel still leading to get some valuable points, no doubt, for Darnley, but will he hang on in the lead of this race? Sean Danaher giving chase, but the clock is ticking down, but Danaher is getting closer and closer. Maybe he's thinking, anything Callum Lockie can do in my car, I can do as well, and he's certainly giving it a good shot.
Mazoub, his personal best of 37.868. In fact, the top 4 have all done personal best in the 37s. 37.091 of Glaisel, our race leader, still the best lap.
Now Derek Hood in the 8C Monza, 1933 race, the blue one with the white, creepy white stripes on the bonnet. That is the next car that Christian Glaisel has got to get past. Now is he going to favour him as he comes past, or is he going to favour Sean Danaher? Well, they've got past it very easily, and 40 seconds on the clock. We will go on for one more lap. Is Danaher close enough? I don't think he is going to be quite. It's going to be really tight at the end of the race, but I think Christian Glaisel would have done just enough to hang on to take victory in the Varzi Trophy. But we still have one more lap to go, and swinging the tail out through the double apexes of Woodcote. Woodcote through the chicane this time. The Alfa Romeo still in the lead of the race.
Danaher left quicker than he went yesterday in qualifying. 1:38.118 yesterday for number 17. Second place is still the Maserati.
Well, he's 2.5 seconds, 2.459 seconds down, and last lap he gained, we're talking tenths he's gained. He's not going to gain that much unless there's a gang of traffic. Certainly now it looks as though Christian Gleisel has settled down to his best form again in leading the race. Sean Danaher looking left, looking right. He knows that Julien Majoub isn't close enough to challenge him, but I think he, in his heart of hearts, knows he's not close enough to Gleisel to take a tip for victory.
More cars ahead. Gleisel through them. Danaher not.
No, Danaher, a hand raised, maybe in thanks or maybe in exasperation as he goes through St Mary's.
It looked like a friendly thank you very much for staying out of the way offline.
I think the gap between first and second has almost doubled in this incident, getting through the traffic. It's where you find it.
This time he was obstructed a bit on the way into 11.
Inadvertently, but it's cost him some time.
Michael Gans, his engine sounds a little bit rough now coming out of St Mary's. This could explain why he's backed off a little bit. And Chris, you thought you saw a puff of oil smoke earlier. That could be telling the tale that is now unfolding.
I think so.
Danaher did the best first sector of anybody on the circuit on this final lap. Then, of course, got stuck in the traffic. Well undone that. Last lap then, our pole man racing up towards the checkered flag, and it's Christian Gleisel in the Alfa Romeo Tipo B who comes through to win the Achille Verzi Trophy. Italian car wins the race for the Italian. New fastest lap of the race, last lap round for Gleisel, 1:36.829. Perhaps it was just a little bit in reserve.